Hey guys, it's Carla. Today I'm working on a canvas panel with acrylic paint. I've got white, sunny day, lilac mist, royal violet, bright blue, English ivy green, and cinnamon stick. But anything close to that will work, and this is glazing liquid. So the first thing I'm going to do is cover my canvas with the glazing liquid so that it'll keep it wet for a little while and help me to get kind of softer edges. And I've already covered my canvas with yellow ochre just for a background color. I like to leave some of the background kind of peeking through sometimes, and so it helps to have a color under there. All right, now I'm going to use just a small, this is actually a mop brush, but any kind of soft brush will work. And I'm going to go ahead and start putting in my sky. So I think I want right at the horizon line, I'm going to have a little bit of this light purple. Maybe about right in here. Kind of different places in the sky, just adding some color. All right, now with a clean brush, I'm going to start putting my yellow in. And because I've already got the yellow ochre on my canvas, I don't have to cover the whole sky. Like, I don't have to cover the whole canvas because I can just use that color as one of the shades in my sky. All right, I'm going to pick up a little bit of blue. Blue is very strong, so you got to be careful with it. I can always come back and darken it, but I can't do anything about it if I get it too dark to begin with, so I want to start off light. I'm coming back with a clean brush to kind of blend it a little bit. Dropped water on the canvas. Now I'm going to come in and kind of form some cloud shapes just by tapping this brush. This brush has a round edge on it, so it works good for this. I'm going to do the same thing with my purple. Okay, now with a round brush, I want to put in my sun. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of white on the brush, maybe about right here. Just drawing a little circle. Start out small so that you can correct your shape if you need to. Now I can come back and brighten that when it dries. But I'll go ahead and start on my tree line back there. And I'm going to go back to my mop brush for that. I'll start out with the dark green and then I'll come back in with some yellow. So maybe something like this over here. Maybe some lower trees going across. And now, like on the tops of these trees, I can tap in some of this yellow and it'll mix with the green and just kind of lighten the top, because it would have highlights on it from the sun. Now I'm coming back with a round brush just to put in a little bit more darkness down here. I lost some of it. Just toward the bottoms of the trees where it would be more shaded. Okay, now down here, I'm going to start off with quite a bit of yellow, but not completely yellow. Back here at the tree line, and then I'll get darker as I come forward. And I don't want this to be a straight line, so kind of give it a little bit of character. And if I keep my brush strokes kind of choppy, horizontal but choppy, then it'll look more like ground. Again, leave some of this yellow ochre peeking through. Now I can come back with my smaller brush, my round brush, and really brighten this up right here where the sun is shining down on the ground. Again, horizontal strokes. Now I think I'll bring in some darker green just in small areas back here, because keep in mind that in the distance things look smaller. So like this little patch of green right here might actually be as big as all this, but it doesn't look like it from here, so keep it small. All right, now right in here before I start putting my flowers in, I want some different shades. So maybe a little bit of this almost reddish color. It's called cinnamon stick, but it's basically kind of a burnt sienna. So I'm just very randomly scattering this in. Okay, I can come back now and brighten up my sun a little bit. And actually, if I pick up some yellow with it, to where it's just really a real pale yellow. Sometimes that'll make it look brighter than just white. So I'm going to tap in some paint and then take my finger around in a circle and blur it out. So that forms kind of some kind of a glow around the sun. So just tap it in there, blur it out, and just keep doing that until you get the amount of glow that you want, and then you can fill it back in. Okay, so I think that'll be good. All right, now I can go ahead and start on some of this, some of the stems and stuff. So I'm going to use my palette knife for that. And I think I'll bring these two together and just kind of, I just want a dark color on my knife. And this is, sometimes you have trouble getting it to come off the knife, but just keep working with it, because this knife really gives you what you can't get from a brush, especially these long sharp lines, but also other effects too. But just work with it until it works with you, and it'll happen. But I want some of this to come up over the horizon line, so maybe up here like this. Let me get more green on my palette. And you want to make sure that your stems are not just all going straight up and down like a fence post. Make them go in different directions and kind of overlap sometimes. All right, I think that's good for now. All right, so now I can start putting in my flowers. And I want to start with the darker purple, and then I'll highlight it with the lighter. So I just got to decide. I think I'll start with my main ones here. So I'm just going to tap and just form these little pods, I guess. And I want to make sure that I don't create like a caterpillar. I want some airiness in it to where you can see the background behind it. Some of these you're seeing at different angles, so they're going to be different shapes. So keep in mind that in nature, that's how you would see it. So don't make all of them just long and skinny. Okay, now I'm going to let that dark purple dry for a little while, and need a little bit more yellow. I want to put some highlights here and there, and I'm just kind of scumbling this in. It doesn't have to make sense. It's just some light color. Okay, now with my light purple, I don't want to cover up all of my dark, so I'm just kind of tapping into it and leaving the dark showing, or a lot of the dark showing. So a lighter touch than I did with the dark purple. Wrong purple. Again, I'm just tapping around at this point with the light purple just to add some interest to it and fill in some of the spaces. Now down here, I think it needs to be a little darker. And purple and green actually make a really nice dark shade. I'm just going to kind of scumble some of this in. And yours may be dark enough already, but I want mine to be a little bit darker. Not up here because there's more light hitting it up here, but down here it would be pretty shaded. Okay, now the last highlight is an even lighter purple. Almost white. And again, a light touch because like there's more of the dark purple and then there's less of the light purple, and then there's even less of this shade, so it's just a highlight. And I'm not going to put this shade down here because I want it to stay more in shadow. All right, now I want to see if I need anything to be brighter up here in the sky. Maybe I do. A little bit, maybe. Again, yours might be bright enough. Sometimes I have to get mine a little bit brighter because for it to show up good on the monitor. Okay. Okay, one more thing that I think I'll do is change the flavor up here a little bit. And just brighten it up a little. All right, that does it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, God bless you.